Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, guys, I have a Tuesday morning editorial for you. Now, this one might be a little redundant from the one I did a week or two ago. It's referenced the officer-involved shooting of the Salt Lake City, Utah boy, the 13-year-old teenager with autism. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to put a link to this story in the description box below and a link to the body camera footage, which has been released in the description box below. Let's move on. Thank you to The Guardian for the story. A 13-year-old Utah boy with autism was shot by police after his mother had asked for help getting him hospital mental health treatment, and officers agreed to talk with him. Police footage released Monday showed. The video shows Salt Lake City officers chasing him down the alley after they arrive at his home, then yelling at him to get on the ground. The boy collapses after about 11 shots ring out. He survived but suffered broken bones and pierced organs, the family's attorney said. He remains hospitalized. His mother, Golda Barton, had warned police that her son had said earlier that day, September 4th, that he had a gun and threatened to shoot her male coworker and break windows in the house, the video shows.
He was on the speakerphone, and my worker's sitting here, and he's threatened by males, like he possesses me, like he's a narcissist, so everything of mine is not mine anymore, it's all his.
He's 14?
13, and he's almost 14 next month. But he basically like possesses everything, so he's like, oh, so you're with that man worker? Oh, I'm gonna fucking shoot his ass. Like he's just like freaking out, and I'm like, dude, I think we should call, because now would be the time, because he's not expecting it.
Right,
but she told officers she thought it was a BB gun or a pellet gun. There were no indications he was armed.
I don't know if it's a pellet gun. I don't know if it's a prop weapon. He's my other son.
But you don't know if it's a real gun either.
It's. I don't believe it's a real gun. I don't believe it's a real gun.
So unfortunately, we have to kind of treat them all as if
Right.
they are.
I know.
She wanted him to be hospitalized for help with his mental health issues. Officers said they would have to proceed as though the boy did have access to a real gun, the video shows, and Barton told officers the boy was triggered by seeing police.
I think this is the best thing,
You
because
understand he doesn't like law enforcement?
no, not at all. It's a trigger. Like, I mean, he sees the badge and he automatically thinks like you're gonna kill him, or he has to defend himself in some way. Like he freaks out.
The video was made public under a Salt Lake City ordinance requiring the release of video from police shootings within 10 business days. The shooting has raised new questions about how police deal with people with mental health issues amid nationwide calls for police reform. It came hours before new de-escalation tactics were due to take effect for Salt Lake City Police, which is cooperating with an independent investigation of the shooting. In one video, two officers can be heard discussing whether to approach the boy because they were concerned that the incident would result in a shooting.
Honestly, we can call Sergeant and tell him the situation, because I'm not about to get in a shooting. Because he's upset.
Yeah.
The video does not seem to show the boy holding any weapon, and police do not mention any weapon in a report also released on Monday. Barton has said she told dispatchers her son was having a breakdown. She needed help from a crisis intervention officer.
What is it that you want from us tonight?
We need him to go to the hospital. I need him to go to the hospital. I cannot get in there on my own. And I cannot do this every night. I will end up like not being able to handle myself. Like I'm like
Has
at my
he
wits'
expressed
end.
any?
On the 911 recording, she says she has called the cops before on her son and that he previously runs away from officers. She said, "My biggest fear is that I don't know. I just don't want him to die." She adds that's why we need a mental health worker. It's super important. The officers who arrived had some mental health training, but were not specialists in crisis intervention. The attorney, Zach Wayher, said, quote, "Whatever happened, it was a 13-year-old boy who was unarmed. The police were called for a mental health call, not a criminal act. A child is laying in a hospital bed. There has to be a better response." The mayor of Salt Lake City, Erin Mendenhall, called for a quick but thorough investigation at a news conference on Monday. That was yesterday. She said, quote, "I am profoundly heartbroken and frustrated. It's a tragedy for this young boy, for his mother, and for families and individuals who have acute mental health needs." And again, the full 18-minute body camera footage is in the description box below, along with a link to this story. You can go back and read it for yourself, and maybe you'll see something different. Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
What's going on?
What do you got?
I just try to see the backseat.
It's all filled with stuff, yeah.
My address and all, but so my father was murdered January 16th, and literally our whole lives fell apart. Like my business, everything, like nothing mattered, you know. And he reacts to the outfits and everything like that. There's no reason about it.
5, 8, echo, 8, echo. What?
I think it's that last house with lights on.
Okay.
The daylight lights, not the soft lights.
Okay. I believe in the white lights.
Mhm.
Okay.
I believe that was the house.
Okay.
You might be the one with soft lights.
You make sure. She's just telling her backstory about who was murdered, why he's. Yeah.
No, I'm just watching for him to walk
No,
out
yeah,
right now.
yeah. We just gotta make sure that there's no one else inside the house too.
Right. This is a site problem. She's out of house. I don't see why we should even approach, in my opinion.
And that's in our policy now, isn't it?
I don't know if it is or not. But honestly, we can call Sergeant and tell him the situation, because I'm not about to get in a shooting.
Oh,
Because he's upset.
yeah.
Sorry.
Especially when he hates cops, it's probably gonna end in a shooting.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is exactly what we talked about last week.
I don't know if it's a pellet gun. I don't know if it's a prop weapon. He's my other son.
But you don't know if it's a real gun either.
It's. I don't believe it's a real gun. I don't believe it's a real
So
gun.
unfortunately, we have to kind of treat them all as if they
Right.
are.
I know.
What is it that you want from us to make?
We need him to go to the hospital. I need him to go to the hospital. I cannot get in there on my own. And he is, and I cannot do this every night. I will end up like not being able to handle myself. Like I'm, like
Has
at my
he
wits'
expressed
end.
any?
Every freaking day.
What
And I
about
told the
hurting other
psychiatrist
people?
this
Like, what about
morning.
tonight?
He was on the speakerphone, and my worker's sitting here, and he's threatened by male. Like he possesses me. Like he's a narcissist. So everything of mine is not mine anymore. It's all his.
He's 14.
13, and he's almost 14 next month. But he basically like possesses everything. So he's like, oh, so you're with that man worker? Oh, I'm gonna fucking shoot his ass. Like he's just like freaking out, and I'm like, dude, I think we should call, because now would be the time, because
Who
he's
else
not
is in the
expecting
house
it.
right now?
Well, upstairs is my brand new renters, which I really don't want to bother as much as I can not as possible. And so I was thinking I would go through the garage.
What?
Because their cars are like blocking me in, or I can walk down the side. I can like,
And where's the house? It's right up here, right?
yeah, up here on the right, the big wood, big round. Yeah.
Kind of go from there.
But I think this is the best thing,
You
because
understand he doesn't like law enforcement?
no, not at all. It's a trigger. Like, I mean, he sees the badge and he automatically thinks like you're gonna kill him, or he has to defend himself in some way. Like he freaks out, and he's got sensory disorder. So, but we have to do what we have to do because I can't live like this. Literally,
Sure.
It's just can't
We'll
happen.
go talk to him.
So great. And then I would like him transported to primary children's if we can do that. That would be great.
Yes, I have
As
to
soon
base
as
my
you assess
determination.
the-
Yeah, I have to base my determination on
Sure,
what his
you'll
actions
find
and
it.
what he said.
You'll find it to be probably. He hasn't been able to control himself. Like my other son, he'd flip out, and then I'd call the cops, and by the time they'd get there, he'd be like, "This officer, she's crazy."
Hey, there's tenants in the upstairs, so we're gonna end up making contact with them.
Okay. So is it duplex?
I don't know. I didn't get specific on it. All she said is there's tenants upstairs. Yeah.
Awesome.
She hasn't told them, so they're not aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not hard. Yeah, because
Can I speak for a second?
I'll just.
Hang on 1 second.
Going on mute for private combo. Stop running! 142. Push the suit, guys going southbound. Hold.
There you go. Did you leave the backyard?
122 restricted area. We got a foot pursuit. Male in all black, running southbound.
Let me see your hands!
Hey, go around. Please stop! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! On the ground now!
Okay, guys, the video's almost over. There's only like 10 or 12 seconds left. But I wanted to interject here real quick. And again, I'm not always right. I could be wrong here. I'm just speaking from experience. I have experience with special needs children. I have a little bit of experience in law enforcement. And it doesn't appear that the officer even tries to have dialogue with him. I know you say, well, he could have had a gun, or the mom said he had a gun. But when the officer says, get on the ground or come here, he says, no. Right there, there's an open door for dialogue. The gate just swung open. The officer keeps barking orders, and then you're going to see what happens in a second here. Or you're going to hear it. I'm not going to let you see it. But you can watch it. The whole link, or the link to the whole video is in the description box below. Unedited, you can watch it. But the officer should have said, I think his name was Lindsay. We'll use that. Lindsay, why are you running, Lindsay? Or Lindsay, what's the problem tonight, Lindsay? You know, get dialogue going. The kid stops. He starts talking. They probably maybe not could have talked him down all the way, but they could have slowed the situation by doing that. Maybe reached him a little and said, what's going on tonight with your mom, Lindsay? No dialogue. Just this right here.
On the ground! Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
I don't feel good.
Show me your hands!
Come on, Mom, I love her.